Adaptive reasoning was a primary principle of teaching proficiency I was hoping to achieve today. My lesson was the beginning of a larger lesson based on the phenomenon of heat, and we focus today on the questioning phase. I hope to use my adaptive reasoning well, as this is an open-ended, student-led project where their questions and eventually projects are based on their interest under the umbrella of the phenomenon of heat and light. If I am able to respond well to my students' inquisitive lines of thinking, guiding towards deeper questions, zoning in on specific questions to be explored, then I will have shown skill in this principle. All right, you guys, so we're here today to do a little exploration. I'm going to tell you real quick, this is going to end in a project that you designed, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that, okay? Well, all we're doing right now is sitting, and I'm wondering, what do you notice about where we're sitting? So I had you guys sit in a certain spot. On the grass. What else? We're outside.
In the sun.
Outside in the grass and the sun. Now the last one is kind of the most important one to this, because what does the sun, how do you feel right now? How does your skin feel? Hot? Yeah, it feels kind of hot. Would it be cooler or hotter in the shade? It'd be cooler, right? So we're sitting out in the hot sun, just because I told you to, which is very nice of you. And what we're going to do next is just kind of write anything you can either think of that you already know about the sun or heat or any of the way you feel your skin, what the sun does, anything at all that comes to your mind. So you can either write a wonder, which is like, I wonder why the sun makes me so hot, I wonder why the shades, I wonder whatever. You're going to wonder, and then we're going to go inside. So you can either draw a picture of what's going on right now, any questions you have, anything you know, anything like that. So here you go. I'm going to give you each one of these. Oh, I better have enough pencils.
Should we go on the inside?
Yeah, go on the inside. The front's like your cover. We're going to use this later once you guys start your projects too. So this will be your, so open up the first page.
Does it have to
Are
be
you
a
so hot?
wonder?
Good, right? About how hot you are. So any wonder, which is something you wonder about the heat. Any, I don't know, why would you wonder? Any question you have, or anything you know already, you feel like you know about the heat or the sun. I'm going to do it too, so I'm going to go along with you. Here you go. Open any first page. You already have a question? All right, okay.
Look how much I want.
Also, any question, anything you wonder about the heat. You can even wonder if that's your mom over there.
Can we do a fact? The sun is a star.
Sure, great. Anything you know or anything you
Can we do
wonder.
a fact about the sun?
A fact that you know, anything you know or you think you know, anything you wonder about, any of the above. During the lesson, I worked to not answer questions, only encouraging the students to record their wonders, observations, ideas, and possible projects that related to the hot sun we were sitting in and all feeling. While I did write down several initial guiding questions, for the most part, I tried my best to stay present and respond to the students' ideas, guiding them as I went.
I'm good enough, embarrassed.
And don't worry about spelling or punctuation or anything. All that matters is you're getting your thoughts down. And everything else. Yeah, okay. You can even draw a picture if you want. Instead of a picture's okay. Also be thinking about what kind of project you might want to do. So you've been wondering some things and thinking. Also start to think about what could you use the heat for? What's a problem you could solve? Are you having a problem right now in the heat? Is there a problem you can solve? Is there something you could make or do involving heat? Start to think about that too. The primary challenge I faced was guiding through neutrality and taking the time to listen, which I think are both incredibly important when focusing on teaching and adaptive reasoning even more so. Looking back at the videos, I hear myself sometimes speaking too soon, almost cutting the kids off, not letting the conversation and the ideas flow as they should to encourage their thinking. Also, I believe I failed to remain guiding and neutral, sometimes saying things like, oh, cool, great idea, which is something I try to take out of my teaching practice, and I noticed today that I did not. I don't believe this is best practice when guiding a discussion, and I would have liked to keep their guiding and asking, not making statements that seem to judge their ideas. I'll work hard on it next time. Kind of what they wrote down from the beginning to the end. Isaac had a fast hand. Go ahead.
The sun is a star. It's very hot. It shines in half the world for 24 hours.
Okay,
And
me.
did you, hold on a second, did you think of any plans you could do? Anything to test about heat or the sun? Did you get that far
I
yet?
could see if I could start a fire with a magnifying glass in the sun.
Yes, you actually could do that with supervision. But yeah, so he's thinking about heat and a magnifying glass. I wonder what that, why does that work? How's a magnifying glass? I don't know, but we can think about that.
Like my
What do you think?
brother, he used to get a magnifying glass and then kill ants
Oh,
with it.
but why does that work?
Because,
Right. We don't know for sure. We can figure it out, right?
yeah.
We can figure it out. What do you got?
The sun is a star. Is the sun big? Is the sun hot? You can dump water on your head to feel cold. I could do a plant project because sun see if it makes it grow.
Uh-huh.
Or I could do which light bulb is hotter.
Test different light bulb heats? Yeah, both of those are really cool. The light bulb heat one might be super great because it's fast.
Okay, my
We're
turn.
not going to have a lot of time.
We're going
Well,
to.
let's just go down the line since we already started. Okay? Don't worry. What would you say?
I thought taking, I think the sun is hot because the sun is so bright, because it's bright and colored.
So maybe that's why it's so
bright
hot, because
colored.
it's bright and colored. All right.
And then
Is that an idea of a
I
project?
have 2 projects.
Whoa, okay. Let's think of them. Let's talk about them.
And then one is take a cardboard box
Mm-hmm.
and cut a circle around it
Okay.
and cut the back part off and melt yellow crayons and put it on and make a circle out of it and then and harden it and then tape that back on the rest of the box
Mm-hmm.
so when you look into the box you'll see a sun.
Make
Bright
like a
sun.
diorama with a
Yeah.
melted sun using the
I
sun
know.
for the yellow.
Yeah.
Whoa, that'd be a cool art project to do. Very cool. What do you think, Ellie?
The sun can fit about 1 million Earths inside of it. I wonder why the sun hurts your eyes when you look at it. I wonder why the sun is yellow and why it is so hot. And my project was to see how long it takes a popsicle to melt in the sun.
How long it takes a popsicle to melt in the sun? You could time it. Mm-hmm. What do you think? My instructions shape student learning by accessing their prior knowledge, curiosity, and pushing the students to wonder and design projects based on the phenomenon of heat and light. All of this was done after experiencing the phenomenon of a hot day in the sun. I believe that this experience and the freedom of thought allowed for students to truly follow their thoughts and ideas, as evidenced by the variety of projects they came up with. Everything from lighting a piece of paper on fire, to melting things in the sun, to even modeling a sun. And I think if I would have really pigeonholed them into something without just trying to guide their questions and follow their interests, I don't think I would have had that variety of projects.
When you run in the sun, instead of just standing running in the sun, it makes you hotter than just standing in it.
Oh, so you think that when you run in the sun, it makes it hotter than if you just stand there?
Mhm.
Oh, so what could you test with that? What do you think? Be thinking about that. Can you think of it now, or do you need some time? Okay, but so Julian's thinking that when you're running, it's hotter in the sun than when you're just standing there. I wonder if that's true. I bet we could test that. What do you think?
The sun is a star. It is hot.
Okay, do you have a project you think you could do? Can you think of anything with
Like the sun, like get the yarn and to make it into a ball somehow.
So you want to make like a model of the sun?
Yeah.
Using yarn? Yeah, I could see doing that. Yeah. Very cool. You guys all thought, I'm gonna zoom around on you, of different ideas somehow. And I had my idea too. I like to think of myself as a teacher that effectively encourages my students to learn and gets out of the way of their thinking and their thought processes. However, I can see that I very clearly too often rush the conversation, not giving the kids time to speak and think, and I also give unneeded opinions and input. I'm going to use this revelation, watching the video today, which can be tough, of course, as everyone knows, as a teacher, to watch yourself teach. I'm going to use this to improve my adaptive reasoning when I'm teaching, and I believe that part of this process is going to be thinking deeply about and improving my practice. Again, part of adaptive reasoning as a teacher, teaching practice, and as a teacher is doing just this, looking back and deciding how you can adapt your thinking and your practices. I'm going to work hard to make these changes and to be more cognizant next time I'm in front of a group of students.